The Go Fast Racing League is on the air. Live from Phoenix International Raceway, it's the Go Fast Grand National Series. We do need to thank TDA Motorsports, Terry Adams, for providing tonight's bump music. TDA Motorsports proudly supports the Disabled American Veterans Association. DAV is an all-volunteer fleet of non-critical medical transport for America's veterans. On more information on how you can get involved, go to dav.org. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight, joined with me by my new partners in crime, at least temporarily till Mr. Sam Cooper-Bennett gets back from vacation, Mr. Scott Brinson and Mr. Ronnie Osmer. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Good, man. Good to be here, Tony. I made my debut here with you last night. Had a great time being in the booth with you, and look forward to doing a doubleheader here with you tonight.
Well, if what happened last night is any indication of what we can look forward to tonight, it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Last night's Cup race was pretty intense. Came all the way down to the last lap where we saw someone basically steal it on the outside coming to the flag. And I'm wondering how this is going to turn out tonight, if we're going to have something similar. I'm seeing the conditions out there are a little better than what we had here last night. Pretty slick out there last night, but I'm not really seeing that being an issue here today in practice.
Well, the other person joining us in the broadcast, those of you who watched the ARCA race from Daytona this past February might recognize this name, Mr. Ronnie Osmer, making his broadcast debut with us tonight here on Both Broadcasting. Ronnie, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Used to the driver aspect, but now I'm getting the Jeff Gordon treatment, trying to chat at the booth.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, like Scott had mentioned, we got the track conditions up on the screen right now. 81 degrees Fahrenheit ambient air temperature. Now, it is an afternoon race. Track temperature 108 degrees, which for the greater Phoenix Metroplex isn't really that warm when you think about it. 81 degrees, that's winter weather there. It's, you're normally north of 100 in the shade, so not too bad. Winds out of the southwest at 4 miles an hour, or southeast at 4 miles an hour. So I've seen worse.
Yeah, I'm sure they wish for 80 degrees out there in Phoenix.
Well,
I live in Florida. I know we wish for it because it's usually 90 plus here, and once we get past April, so.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of heat out there. I've lived in Florida, I've lived in North Carolina, and I've lived in...
Yeah, but when it's that hot, hot's hot.
Hot is hot. You are correct, sir. Funny story, I was working for an open wheel team out there that they were getting a younger driver ready to jump into a midget car, so my job was to prep his mini sprint and assemble the midget. And the shop was supposed to be air conditioned, and I'm working in the shop one day, and I'm sweating buckets. What the hell is going on here? I thought is the air conditioner broke? I walk over, and I'm looking at it. Now, mind you, I'm from upstate New York, just south of Lake Ontario, for those of you who want a reference point. And you set the air conditioner around here to between 70 and 72, depending on how cool you want it. So I look at the air conditioner, and it's set at 85. Who the hell does this? So I immediately grab the dial and send it down to 70, and I'm working away, and no problem. Team owner's wife comes walking in. She goes, "Come on, we're going to lunch. Holy shit, it's cold in here." Pardon my language, folks. Direct quote, by the way. Direct quote was what I just said. And I'm like, I'm comfortable. She goes, "It's cold in here." I'm comfortable. She goes, "Come on, we're going to lunch. I'll drive." I took 2 steps out the door between the where her car was parked in the parking lot and the shop door. I took 2 steps, my knees buckled, and my glasses completely fogged over. Looked her in the eye. "Yeah, you can go turn that back up now." She goes, come on, let's get in the car.
Yeah, that's what happens. Same thing happens down here. You walk out of the cold AC out into the humidity. Down here, anyway. I know it's not so much humidity out there as it is dry heat. But either way, when you start getting over 100 degrees or close to it, hot's hot. I mean, it's just miserable outside either way.
You're not wrong.
But I'll tell you what, I would much rather be in miserable heat than be in miserable cold any day. You ain't ever going to convince me of that. The miserable cold is better than miserable heat.
It wouldn't be bad if people remembered how to drive in the snow.
I'm just talking from an aspect of comfortability, because I go to Indiana for Christmas every year, and there's some winters where it's brutal, and then there's some winters where you don't even notice you're up there. But this past one, it was pretty brutal up there. It was, 10 degrees the day I left, and I'm not used to that kind of stuff. To me, I know it gets much colder than that, but that's what I'm talking about. When you start getting down in those kind of numbers, or single digits or below zero, like where my buddy Tony Pizarro lives up in Anchorage, minus 40, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, Anchorage is Anchorage is a little outside of my comfort zone. But where I live, the way I always say it is, I can always put more clothes on in the wintertime, but I can only take so many clothes off before I gross out my family. And those of you who have seen me on Facebook and have seen my picture know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's just say that, funny story, an ex of mine, whose parents owned a pool, she goes, come on, my parents are having a pool party, we're getting you a new swimsuit. I just bought a brand new pair of board shorts. She goes, no, you're getting a Speedo. No, I'm not. I said, it's going to look like a Bartlett pear with a rubber band tied around it. She goes, it won't be that bad. We went to the swimsuit store. They had me try on the swimsuit. The girl, now mind you, the girl who was selling us this heard me say that comment. I opened the curtain. She goes, oh my God, it does. Closed the curtain, took the Speedo back off, put my board shorts back on. I said, come on, we're going to the pool party. She goes, okay, you win.
At least you were a sport and you went and tried.
If only to say,
got it down before we ever got to that point. So
if only to say, I told you so.
It's a funny story.
But anyways,
yeah, we got about a minute left here in practice, then we'll be going to qualify. I guess we should touch on the points real quick, shall we?
If you would like to, we certainly can.
Yeah, I got them up right here. Always got them handy and ready to rock and roll. Looks like Tyler Cox comes into tonight as your points leader after 3 races. He has a 14 points lead over Dylan Voss, who sits in second place. He jumped up 3 spots into that second place. Michael Trevarthen. Just work with me, folks. I'm new here with this league, so I'm learning these names.
You're right.
He's in third. He is 20 points back. And then David Worrell and Jeff Woopker are tied for 4th. Austin Marion is 6th. Jeff Schmidt 7th. Brian Littleton 8th. Skylar Allen Sr. 9th. And Rick Mitchell rounds out the top 10. And Mitchell is 44 points back, if that kind of gives you an idea where 10th place is as the first after 3 races this season.
Well, of the crew that we're just talking about, points leader Tyler Cox currently sitting 3rd quick. Michael Trevarthen currently sitting 4th quick. Dylan Voss 5th quick. And David Worrell sitting 12th quick so far.
That's going to do it for practice. Time to go queuing.
Lock and load. So qualifying, getting ready to fire it off. Would like to remind everybody that should you like what you see here tonight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And be sure to wait till after the live stream is over. Then go to drop a comment in the replay comment section, and we'll pass that along to league admins and see if we can't get you added into the action. So, a handful of cars going off right now. We are going to Well, right now we're following along with Rick Mitchell in the 63 Skull Classic car. It's cranking one off. Getting ready to coming out of 4, getting ready to post the first time, it looks like. As he goes 5th quick. Michael Trevarthen currently sitting top of the board. Guy to keep an eye on right here is the 41 of Joe Burchett, though. Burchett has just been on kill the last couple of weeks. So Trevarthen currently sitting quick time. Joe Morris sitting 2nd. Brian Littleton, Adam Chapman, and Mark Nadu rounding out your top 5 currently. Qualifying, still about 3 minutes left. These guys they get 2 flying laps.
Yep, we've had 13 out of the 20 we got here tonight have went out there and taken a time, so now 14. So we're slowly getting in everybody's time, and we'll see how many of them decide not to take a time and start in the back. 20 total cars here tonight, though, as we race at Phoenix International Raceway.
We're following along with points leader Tyler Cox right now. And he is just having nothing but problems trying to lay one down. Going to get his 2nd time in, and he's tried to knock down the turn 2 wall, the dogleg wall, and now the front stretch wall. Going to go 13th quick. Joe Burchett to the top of the board.
Sure did. 27.631, beat it by well over a tenth to the 27.756 by Joshua Banks. Trevarthen falls to 3rd, Morris 4th, and Vaz 5th.
Landon Lacey now on track trying to set a lap.
David Worrell is one of those guys that has not taken a time yet. He unfortunately just fell through, so hopefully he'll have time to jump back in the room. Luckily, it happened now, and not like last night's race when we had someone fall out right at grid time.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, now he'll have he'll have about 4 minutes or so to jump back in here, so he should have enough time.
Landon Lacey up to 2nd on the board. I can definitely tell from listening to the onboards, he sounded a lot smoother with the throttle going in 3 and 4, going through 3 and 4.
Well, you kind of have to with this car because the Tiger model, as we have found out with the full fendered stock cars, is definitely not a fan of stab and go kind of driving. But I dare say that this is going to be this does not bode well for the rest of the field with Joe Burchett going 73 thousandths quicker than the next nearest competitor of Landon Lacey. Burchett, the past couple of weeks, we've seen him start towards the back of the pack, and he's made charges through the field, and he's had some bad luck, but the fact that he's going to be starting that far forward, Katie, bar the door because it's going to get interesting very quickly here.
Hey, you never know what could happen, though. You saw at the end of last night's race, he had 2 guys that dominated the whole race, and then somebody who just kind of rode around all night back there, 3rd, 4th, 5th place, stole it at the end. So you never know.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why they race the laps.
Oh, yeah.
We got competition. Who's going to have the slowest time? Oh, Stephen Parks beats out Skylar for the slower time.
Just so they could say they put one up.
Yeah. Worrell and Spencer were the only 2 that didn't qualify, and I haven't seen Worrell come back in, so I don't know if he's going to make it or not.
Well, let's see what's going on here. So we are getting ready to...
Looks like Damon Cox was already issued an EOL penalty, so it looks like he'll be falling to the end of the line.
Fair enough. So going through the grid real quick, Unofficial track record 27.631. Joe the Bullet Burchett taking quick time. He's going to be joined on the front row with Landon Lacey. So you got a Chevy and a Ford starting up on the points. Row number 2 is going to see Josh Banks and Mike Trevarthen. With row 3 going to John Morris and Dylan Vos. Brian Littleton and Adam Chapman are going to start in row number 4, with row 5 going to Mark Nadeau and Austin Marion.
Rick Mitchell will start back there in 11th, and Jeff Smith in 12th in row number 6. Carl Hayes starts 13th, and Tyler Cox 14th in row 7. Damon Cox will be getting that EOL penalty, but he's gridding up 15th. Rick Mitchell will start 16th. Skylar Allen, senior, 18th. Or excuse me, I'm 17th. Stephen Parks, 18th. David Worrell, 19th. And Eric Spencer, 20th. And as I mentioned, I have not seen David Worrell come back in yet, so I'm not sure if he's going to make it. Everybody else appears to be in the room.
So 20 cars scheduled to go off in this one, 124 laps the scheduled distance.
And actually, I'm not seeing Eric Spencer in the room either, so he's not going to make it either. So we got 18.
All right, so 18 cars getting ready to take the green here as Burchett and Lacey are going to bring them off. And I do want to apologize. Trading Paints is wreaking havoc with me tonight, so unfortunately Joe Burchett is showing up as a black wrapper tonight. And what I mean by that is there's no sponsorship on that car. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, we're getting ready to turn them loose here. Pace car is in. Burchett has control of the field. Holds him down, and we are live from Phoenix.
Here they all come down into one. Treacherous turn number 1 on lap number 1 in the desert.
Lacey got a great jump on that outside line. It was drag race with him and Burchett. Burchett looked like he might have been a little bit asleep at the switch.
Yeah, but everybody got off pretty good there. We got one out there blinking, bouncing off the wall, actually, the 15. I think he's having connection issues. He definitely made some heavy contact there. Not too heavy, but definitely going to have some right side damage on that thing.
And he is dropping like a stone. I can't even keep up with how quickly he's dropping to the tail of the field. That's the 15 of Adam Chapman. And you can see right there, he did definitely pancake the right side of that car.
Yes, he did. And as you all know here, tune in every Friday night to watch this series. There are no resets, so he's going to have to get that fixed on pit road. It's going to slow him down, but he might be able to get some of that fixed, stay in the fight, and see what kind of finish he can muster out of it. He's not done yet.
Meanwhile, up towards the front of the field, Joe Burchett all over the back bumper of Landon Lacey. As Burchett uses...
loose in the back, and 61 saves it.
Good save.
That'd be Jeff Schmidt. Would like to say hi, Mom, because Jeff's mom watches some of our broadcasts here. Got another one completely sideways. That's Rick Mitchell in the 63. Looks like he may have had some help. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage and see what happened there. Coming through the dog leg. Here we go, going into turn number 3. This is the replay of what just happened. And, yeah, it looks like the 4 may have had a little help in that one. So Carl Hayes getting into the 63. And meanwhile, Burchett has gotten through.
He's already pushed it up to about a half a second, which ain't a bad little lead here when you're only on lap number 5.
Half a second and growing.
He definitely want to take care of that tire, though, as you know, here at Phoenix.
Oh, absolutely, especially with as hot as the track currently is. It's definitely something you're going to want to keep an eye on. Throw a blanket over 2nd through 5th right now, though. And you got Burchett leading. Then you have Lacey, Banks, Trevarthen, Vos, and Littleton. These guys are starting to walk away from... Vos in 5th. You got about a 2.5 second lead to sixth place Brian Littleton.
Yeah, and they're getting a little touchy-feely back here, right behind Littleton. Little contact there on the bumper, but no harm, no foul. We're still rolling. But yeah, these three racing it up pretty hard. But the 14 there, he was getting a little bumper action. Ooh, a little loose action there behind the 14.
That would be Mark Nadeau in the 40. Nadeau not afraid to hang it out, as we've seen in the past couple of weeks. Tyler Cox, though, your current points leader, just trying to salvage one. And as we've seen in the past couple of races here at Phoenix, you know, the setups are a little bit there. It's a tight in, loose off condition. So if you've got to chase it up the hill coming off a 4, and you're on the inside of somebody, you're either going to have to lift, or at least one of you is going to eat the wall.
Yeah, right now you're finally starting to see a little give and take here between these three. So we got one losing it on the front stretch, down sideways, and we got a caution. First one of the evening. Single car spin. Looks like he got her woed down before he made any contact with the wall, so good job. Got out of everybody's way.
Well, that was Adam Chapman in the 15. Let's see what happened here. Working his way through the 3-4 complex on the replay. Just dirt track and just a little light contact there with the Lucas Oil sign on the front stretch. Everybody else able to.
There was much.
Yeah, everybody else able to squeak on by. So
Yeah,
10 laps in, it's going to be interesting to see if we have any takers this early to go down pit road.
Oh, yeah, with the temperatures that hot here at Phoenix, they've already chewed the, as you like to call it, the goodie off the tire. They're going to want 4 Mr. Feelgoods for sure.
Safe bet. And it's going to be interesting to see who, of those who have already made contact with their, reached out and touched somebody, if you will, how many of them are going to start pit farming the cars this early.
You know the 15 will be.
So it looks like everybody coming pit side.
We got one staying out.
Yeah, one taker, the 19.
Dylan Vos just hungry for that bonus point.
4 cars stay out.
Repping Team Metalhead tonight.
Yeah, the 15 stayed out too.
So the 15 stayed out. Stephen Parks stayed out in the 1.
And David Worrell did wind up making it back in the room, but he's 8 laps down. But he is being showed out on track now.
And Joe, unfortunately, Trading Paints, I've reloaded it twice, reloaded it for a 3rd time. Just does not want to update on some of these cars for me here.
It happens sometimes. It's just Trading Paints. It's done that many times. Previous broadcasts I've been a part of, either for myself or whoever I was calling the race with.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a pain right in the backside. So of the cars that went down pit road, looks like Michael Trevarthen winning the battle off pit road.
Looking at on pit road action, the 35 Lacey had major problems with pit stall. He dropped all the way from 2nd all the way down to 12th going through the pits.
From the looks of it, he may have slid through his stall. Carl Heiss in the 4 looks like may have been busted for speeding. And I stand corrected, Josh Banks winning the battle off pit road. So for Dr. Feelgoods and some Go-Go Juice and where did Joe go?
He is falling to the rear. I just found him. It looks like he might have got a penalty as well. Yep.
Speeding off for the 41. That's, if you're gonna do it, it's better to do it early like this rather than get dinged for it later on.
Unless the race goes caution free, and then you screwed yourself either way. But
well,
There's no stage racing.
Are
here in
we
this league, correct?
are we speaking from experience, sir?
Oh yeah, yes sir. From this previous week, gotta watch out for the popo on pit road, man. They've been heavy lately. But there's no stage racing in this league, correct?
You had to ask me the simple question, didn't you? Because I don't remember much of last week.
I'm new here, folks, so forgive me for not knowing.
And I don't remember. I suffer from CRS. So lights are out on the pace car. Banks, Trevarthen, Nadu, Cox, Marion, Morris, Schmidt, Allen, Lacey, and Cox. Not sure if there's a relation or not, but green. Here we go.
That's what I was saying earlier about you never know what could happen. You know, the guy that went out there and ran the fastest time, now he's in the back. And as we saw last night, it made a difference when you push the fastest guy in the early part of the race back into the traffic.
True story, but we have seen Joe Burchett climb his way through the field every week so far. And unfortunately, last week he did get caught up in someone else's dumpster fire. Meanwhile, Josh Banks showing the way. Mike Trevarthen right on his back bumper. Tyler Cox up into third. And Mark Nadu in fourth right now as they are starting to gap Austin Marion in fifth.
Hey, what, the race is on up front, that's for sure. These front four are already breaking away, and they're basically nose to tail. Hopefully someone doesn't overdrive it and come rambling up right into the guy right in front of them, turn them right in front of the whole field, because no resets, that's going to take some guys out. I've seen it happen here so many times. Overdrive one of the corners.
As these four are really starting to break away, Tyler Cox looking at the inside of Trevarthen as they go through the dog leg. Cox with a slide job on corner entry. That's not going to make anybody happy. Josh Banks is seeing this in his rearview mirror going, yeah, go ahead, guys.
Burchett's already climbed his way into 12th place, so he is on the move, trying to make up some ground from having to restart in the back. But still a lot of time left in this race, over 100 laps to go, so more than enough time to make up for that.
Absolutely. Getting ready to start lap 18 of 124. Again, you are watching the Go Fast Grand National Series live from Phoenix International Raceway.
Skylar Allen trying to put the move on, coming down there on the bottom side into one, but he's going to find out that outer groove is where you want to be. Ducks it down to the dog leg, but still that outer side is going to get the run here.
We were able to keep it wound up so much more if you late entry turn one.
Oh, we got one going around the 43. That'll bring the caution out. Same thing. Ooh, in the 96, he was part of that, I think. There might have been a separate incident there, but he almost lost it as well.
A separate incident, but let's take a look and see what took place there.
I was going to say, I think that was two different cars just losing it at the same time.
That's exactly what it looked like. Yep.
This drove a hot day on a flat track. It's going to get loose on exit with all this horsepower.
Yep.
I believe that's what you refer to as a first you say it, then you do it kind of moment.
Well, the good thing is neither one of them suffered any kind of sustainable damage. The 43 might have a little bit, but he's going to be all right. He'll be able to get that fixed.
Yeah, a little light contact. Never hurt anybody. So
not on a short track.
All right, so they have caught the pace car going through the 3-4 complex right now. 9 laps into the stint, who's going down pit road and who's going to gamble it?
Yeah, were we that far? If it was 9 laps, I think they're all coming if we were that far. I didn't think we were that far into the stint.
Nope, not everybody's coming. Trevarthen staying out.
About 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Trevarthen staying out. Looks like Banks.
Ooh, and
Park.
43 almost missed the pit road.
And that would just add insult to injury.
A little gambling early on. Them boys must have been staying in Vegas last night. Took the trip down.
So if there's anyone you guys want to talk to, just feel free to just drag them down in here.
Well, who would you like to chat with? I moved someone. I don't know any of these guys. So who would you like to start with?
Well, that's a good question. Let's talk to, let's see if Joe Burchett is, feeling talkative tonight.
All right, let me see if I can find him. I don't see him. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, there he is.
User was moved to your channel.
Joe Burchett, Tony up in the booth. You got me, sir.
Yes.
So, talk to us about what happened on that the last pit stop. Did you get busted by the cops for speeding on pit road, sir?
Yeah, I got caught coming in. It was actually, I think, like section 3 or section 4. I've hit 46, I think, once, and somehow it busted me. So.
Ouch. Well, we did see you have to do this previously, and hopefully it'll work out similarly to how it did at Atlanta for you. You know, getting you up on the podium before you're done here.
Yeah, hopefully I can rebound. I like this track a lot. This is probably in the top 5 of my favorite tracks. So, and the car feels good on the long run tonight. So I'm hoping we can just get a long run and I can work my way back up through these guys.
So the tire wear is not that much of an issue for you, anyways.
Not really, no.
All right, fair enough, sir. Well, we'll let you get back to it, and hopefully we're talking to you in about 100 laps.
All right, thank you, man.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, so according to Joe, tire wear is not that bad if you're expecting what's about to happen.
Well, we'll just see who can stay on the pedal the smoothest and see who can hold on to the car, because it seems like it's been an issue with guys losing it coming out of 4. Might be getting on that pedal just a little too hard.
Well, here's the deal, guys. Rick Mitchell is the only one who didn't pit. Everybody else went pit side. Landon Lacey winning the battle off pit road that time. Looks like he only took 2.
There were 9 laps in that stint. Those guys, they're definitely going to have their hands full fending off these other guys with 4 Mr. Feelgoods on the car.
It's going to get very interesting very quickly. It's a pace car getting ready to duck on off. And
Might look like an episode of Pac-Man.
Green flag, green flag.
And Mitchell checks the field up before dropping the hammer.
Might be a good idea.
That was his only chance, because he knows Lacey's going to be going through 1. Makes it look that simple, and he's going to lose a whole slew of spots.
Yeah, he is. It's them old tires.
3 wide coming out of the dog leg. Nadu wisely backing out of it, letting Skyler go by.
As I like to call them, are Flintstone tires he's rocking now.
It's not going to be too much more before all he's going to have is just cord showing.
Old, worn out.
Fair enough.
Oh, we got 3 wide and 1.
Oh, yeah, they're bunching up back there big time. Big traffic jam.
Good grief.
Yeah, look at him back here. This is crazy. Rush hour traffic back here. 3 wide again. A couple 3 wides going on at the same time.
For those of you from the field, and there it goes.
Going around. There's your third caution. More contact. 43's involved in it.
Brian Littleton catching a piece of that one.
Multi-car crash that time. Same thing, though. 3rd time we've seen that.
Looks like he may have had a little bit of help. Yeah, unfortunately, he caught the nose of the 2, and just around she went. Let's see what happened to Morris here. Yep, just caught a piece of it. As unfortunately, when you're coming through 4, it really funnels down. So if something happens in front of you, you kind of have nowhere to hide.
No, sir. Not on the front stretch.
Looking at a slow motion view from the back of the 43, he actually got clipped by the 63 that sent him into the spinning car.
and we saw that Trevarthen was there. So when the 80 tried to cut down to get a run off of the car he was following, kind of had nowhere to go, and it looks like Landon Lacey going to be one of the few bringing it down from the front. Josh Banks staying out, Tyler Cox staying out, Skylar Allen staying out, Mark Nadu staying out, Damon Cox staying out. Now they did only have 2, maybe 3 laps of green flag racing, but with as hot as this track is, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So,
well, we know what happens when you stay out on 9-lap old tires. Now we'll find out what happens when you stay out on 2 or 3-lap old tires. We'll see if it's even a possibility or if you have to come and get tires every single time. I'm thinking it's going to be one of them races where you got to come and get tires every single time. If we're to have a long green flag run here, you'll see it. There will be a difference in fall off.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with a heat cycle mixed in there, because the heat cycles are bad on the tires too. I know they used to be anyway in the tire builds. The heat cycles had a way of really wearing down the tires.
Well, even more so the last couple of builds that I've experienced. When they first came out with the whole tire wear thing, it was kind of gradual, and it was kind of, you could feel it starting to go, and then they changed it up and changed it up and changed it up, and the way it was best described to me was swan dive off the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, well, we kind of saw that last night.
We kind of saw that about 5 laps ago.
Yeah, it seems like turn 4 is going to be a problem for them tonight. Hopefully they can get that cleaned up.
Well, as much like we saw last night in the Cup Series, turn 4, the guys that are having the problem in turn 4 are the guys that are going the lowest through the dogleg. Because let's face it, folks, you're in the desert. There's going to be sand thrown around.
Not to mention marbles and everything else down there.
Right.
Plus, you just get a better line going into the corner if you just have that outside line. You don't have to worry about weaving back and forth across the track.
Well,
at least it works better for me anyway as a driver. It's
yeah.
If you got to take a wider arc, you're just better off just staying to the outside. You can go down to the dogleg, just don't go all the way down there where all the garbage is.
Well, the other thing too is, there's 3 different ways to go through there. There's in the dogleg, straddling the dogleg, and not in the dogleg at all, or not on the low side at all.
Straddling is about where you want to be.
Well,
stay out of the trash.
That's the problem. Is if you straddle that yellow line going through the dogleg, you're not making it out in one piece. Not in the not most of these cars. As Joshua Banks wasting no time pulling the trigger. Tyler Cox going with him. Mark Nadu able to hold on for 3rd. Skylar Allen up into 4th, just battling it out with Landon Lacey there, side by side, getting ready to go through the dogleg.
Yeah, look at some of these guys going down, almost down to that wall, man. You're definitely gonna be picking up garbage on your tires going down there.
And watch for it on the 96 right here, coming off of 4, because he was as low as I've seen anybody go in that dogleg tonight.
Him and the 19 both did it. They were both good there, but both of them, they come just barreling down into 3 and were able to keep it down on the bottom. As they wear the tires down, that car is going to push up into that car on the outside.
Well, it's going to push up, and you're also going to have to worry about, we've seen it before. Is somebody's going to go off into the turn 3? The spotter's not going to call that there's somebody there if you go too low. And that was a problem we were having Monday night here in the Paskey's Truck Series. Is some of the guys were almost all the way down on the wall. And they'd get to turn 3, and the guy on the outside didn't realize there was a guy there. Good handful of good trucks got taken out that way.
Yeah, that's the dangers of running the dog leg. There's always that danger of going through there and people not noticing each other. Oh, we got one bouncing off the wall back there, but it looks like he's still going straight. But yeah, that's the dangers of the dog leg. If you're going to open that thing up, it's, you know, anything and everything can happen through there. So you're going to have cars weaving all over the place. Everybody taking different lines through there if they're going to use it.
Absolutely.
That's all part of it, though. That's the fun in it, honestly. It's even crazier in the IndyCar. It's crazy in this series. Oh my God! Open the dog leg for the IndyCar. Where you can pretty much drive the car wherever you want.
Yeah, I'm thinking hard no.
It's insanity.
And we now got a battle for the lead up in the front between the 36 Joshua Banks and the 14 Tyler Cox.
Yeah, it's
Cox
Cox to the inside, getting a little sideways coming out. Banks able to keep it wound up on the top side.
Oh, the Ford's having a moment back here. I was going to say the Ford just had a moment, but he's having another moment, but he saved it.
Oh, Tyler got a piece of that apron out. It's always a bad thing to catch in 1 and 2.
That's flirting with disaster right there. Meanwhile, the battle for third really starting to heat up. As Joe Burchett has moved his way back into third. Got his teammate Mark Nadeau with him.
Marching back through this field.
Here's the thing. Burchett said he wanted a long run. He was one of the cars to take it down pit road under the last caution. So he's only 9 laps into his stint as we're working lap 37. Make that 38 of 124. Banks, 17 laps in. Tyler Cox, 17 laps in. Burchett and Lacey both 10 laps in. Mark Nadeau, 17. And then it varies going on back through the rest of the top 10. But, you know, if we do have a green flag, a long green flag run here, some of these guys are going to be in the catbird seat.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get that long green flag run. I'm seeing a lot of guys dirt tracking and coming off 4. I think there are a lot of guys out there cooking up their tires in these hot conditions, and they're going to have a hard time holding on to it for anything longer than 20, 25 laps.
Well, we're watching Damon Cox in the 47 right now as he's working at the back bumper, Skylar Allen. And these guys are keeping it relatively straight.
Oh, I think that guy was netcoding. Looked like we had one losing it there right behind the 96, but I think he was netcoding.
That was Damon Cox in the 47.
And the target machine. Looked like he was losing it.
So Jeff Schmidt,
because of it.
Jeff Schmidt up into the top 10. Good to see Jeff having a decent run going.
Alright, this battle for the lead is very close. It's about to get interesting. Now they have lap traffic at the 43 of John Morris.
Hey, you know how that lap traffic can be.
It looks like he's doing the right thing, moving as far down the track as he can get.
That's a good move.
Burchett going to try to dive bomb.
Another good move.
As Tyler Cox keeping it wound up. I don't know if he's going to make it work. Tyler Cox keeping it wound up.
He's trying. Joe's not giving up. He got him. Joe's looking strong, man. He wants to be back on the point.
Well, he wants to be back on the point. Josh can see him coming, but Tyler's also realizing we're only on lap 43, and he's the points leader. I can afford to let this guy go.
Yep, seeing the big picture.
Meanwhile, throw a blanket over these top 4 as they are almost a full second to the good over 5th place, and then you're 2 full seconds back from 5th to 6th.
Yeah, they're getting spread out just a little bit.
Meanwhile, this battle up front is just really starting to heat up. as Burchett has made his way back towards the front after being busted for speeding under the first caution. Banks, Burchett, Tyler Cox, Lacey, Nadeau, Trevarthen, Vos, Schmidt, Allen, and Marion, your top 10.
And we're about to have a new leader. Here comes the 41 making his move. Ooh, almost a little contact going through there as he was getting squeezed, but he made it work. Hadn't completed it yet, but it looks like he's going to. He does.
And looks like Tyler Cox trying to go with him.
He's trying.
He's fighting it. And that's the problem with pinching the car down like that. If the guy on the outside wants to pinch you a little bit and not let you up, if you get the least little bit sideways, there's no room to chase. The only thing you can do is lift.
That's the danger of squeezing people down too, because you never know, they may come back to the outside and take you out.
You're not wrong. And
been there, read that book.
Cox is just beating the bejesus out of his own right rear tire coming sideways through the 3-4 complex.
He tried to do the Harvick line. He tried to do the Harvick line through 3 and 4 on Phoenix, and that kills you if you don't do it right.
Well, you're not wrong.
Meanwhile, back here at about 10th place, man, they're battling it up back here as well. 96 has got his hands full right now. He's got a whole mirror full of cars. He's had some issues coming out of 4, been sideways a couple times, so he's doing a good job right now. Ooh, hard braking there going into the corner.
That's Austin Marion in the. That's a strange car. It's a very strange car. We've seen it before where he's got his normal numbers blacked out. He's kind of almost got a NASCAR. It's the Argentinian stock car kind of number placement on that car.
Definitely something different, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, Trading Paints isn't letting me get a good view of that car.
Old Trading Paints.
Yeah, the bane of my existence. Meanwhile,
yeah, you know, a lot of people give Trading Paints a hard time, but at the same time, we're lucky that we have Trading Paints. It's for a free program. It's a hell of a program.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm never going to complain because I've run other sims where if you don't have your paint in before the season starts, no one else is going to see your paint scheme for the rest of the year.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Cox leaning it on Banks, going it on exit of 4, almost getting sideways and wrecking them both.
Well, overcooks it going into 1. That's going to let Landon Lacey get into the wall.
That was a good little smack, too.
Well, they're 30 laps into their stint. Tyler Cox has got to be just praying right now for a caution and hoping that it's not him.
So much for them only being able to go 20, huh?
Well, Josh Banks is 31 laps into his run. Joe Burchett 24, Landon Lacey 24, Tyler Cox 31, Mark Nadeau 31, and then the rest of the field is pretty much 24. So for the fact that Banks and Cox are able to hang on like they are is very impressive.
Lacey is getting a little dirt tracking out of F4, but they'll keep it straight, keep it in 3rd.
Not a lot of battling going on right now. Everybody's pretty much single filed out. We got a few battles, but for the most part, everybody's single filed out, starting to feel that tire.
They're starting to feel that tire, and we've got to be closing in on some of these guys needing to go down pit road.
These guys are hoping for a caution. They don't want to make green flag pit stops.
Whoa! Mark Nadeau having a first you say it, then you do it moment as he overcooks it going into 1, has to really climb on the binders to stay off of Tyler Cox.
closing in on the halfway point of the race. Starting to get leveled out now. We had 3 cautions there early on in the first 25 laps or so.
Something like that.
Yeah, now it's leveled out. We've been green ever since that 3rd caution, and these guys are getting their feet under them now.
All right, so Curse of the Announcer, go ahead and get your hate mail coming, folks. That's that's Mr. Scott Brinson, Tempe.
I call it like I see it, folks. That's the only way I know how.
Scott Brinson, Tampa, Florida, P.O. Box OU812. Again, Tampa, Florida, 8679, 8675309. So, but like he was saying, yes, three cautions for 12 laps have already happened. And there it is.
Yeah. See, I should have just left it alone and not talked about it.
And it's the 15 for his second one. Let's take a look and see what happened here.
I have a way of doing that on previous broadcasts.
Whoa. Just door banged with the 96. And unfortunately, could not complete the J-turn and brought the caution out.
There's a lot of guys out there that are happy about that. Some probably aren't. I'm sure there are more that are than aren't.
I'm thinking everybody's glad to see that caution, that nobody got completely annihilated. 29 laps is a lot of laps to be putting on a set of tires.
We still have 17 on the lead lap. That saves some guys. So still 17 of the 19 that gridded up on the lead lap, and we're halfway through the race at Phoenix. So that's a good job by all the guys in the field there.
And Stephen Parks in the one stayed out.
Probably grab that bonus point.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Steven does that a lot. He was the one guy that I was familiar with when I looked at the list of drivers. Other than that, all new people, new league to me. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me again here tonight, Tony, and hopefully Sam's having a good vacation. And thanks for allowing me to fill in for you, Sammy.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. When Sam first approached me and said, "Hey, I got another Xfinity League for us," I wanted to reach through Facebook Messenger and choke him, because if you've heard any of the broadcasts of the previous Xfinity League that we broadcasted in, I'm admittedly not a full-fendered stock car fan, and it kind of stems from, for example, you have people that work in a chocolate factory. When they're not at work, they don't want to know anything to do with chocolate. I've worked in the stock car industry. Not a fan of sitting watching the races. However, that being said, working with this league, working with the Paskey's Sports Truck League, working with help me. Where were we last night?
Southern Motorsports.
Thank you. SOMO. Working with those 3 leagues has really brought my interest back into the full fender stock car leagues. And I got to thank Sam for getting with Skyler about broadcasting this league. That kind of got the ball rolling to get me excited again about full fender stock cars. And I thank you for letting us come on board and do the the open wheel stuff, because that's really invigorated me to want to do that again. But Joe Burchett winning the battle off pit road. Dylan Bose, Mark Nadeau, Tyler Cox, and Landon Lacey, your top 5, as we are getting ready to go back live, as we are almost at the halfway point.
Interesting things actually happened on pit road. When they were coming around back to the base car, I noticed the 36 of Banks bumping all over 35 Lacey, and looking at pit road, Lacey actually bumped Banks into his pit stall, almost turning him, so we might see some heat on the track.
Fireworks.
Well, there's no love lost between those two anyways, because it's kind of like it's kind of like gunpowder in a match. As Dylan Vos with a hell of a run.
I was just about to say, look at that move by the 19. He ran out of real estate there.
Yeah, he almost used the apron going into 3.
Well,
that's what I say. He ran out of real estate, had to get out of it.
That's the one thing about those Metalhead Motorsports guys. They are not afraid to lay it all on the line. As Tyler Cox and Mark Nadeau still side by side. Vos going to try it one more time, though. Here we go. Just overcooks it. He was bombing it in, and unfortunately, he's just burning the hell out of those tires. Those tires are not going to last 30 laps like the last set did if he keeps that up.
There's a lot of guys out there doing that right now. I'm seeing a lot of guys snap it right now, which is telling me they're getting on it too hard, burning up that right rear.
It's just the one driver's problem of knowing when the fastest guy's up front, they got to push their car, hopefully keep up, and it's just that always abuses tires. They got to learn to be patient.
The field's starting to get strung out.
To the 41 right now. They know if they don't stay up with the 41, this front pack up here, they won't be able to keep up with him. He'll drive away.
Well, they are keeping him honest, and this is probably the first time all night that somebody has been able to keep Joe Burchett honest when he's gotten to the point.
They are on newer tires, too. We'll see after they got 10 laps on the tires.
True story, as we are just past the halfway mark.
See if they can keep up with him as the tires continue to fall off. I mean, these guys are running it hard right now. Now the top 3 are starting to pull away from everybody else. Happened a little bit.
Well, they're starting to pull away, and it looks like Tyler Cox may have been doing some pit farming under that last caution, as the right front fender of that car is not as beaten up as it used to be.
I still get a kick out of that term every time I hear you say it. I've never heard that until last night.
What's that?
Pit farming. I hear that in every other terminology as far as gaming goes, but I'd never heard it in iRacing until last night.
What else would you call it?
Just going in and getting repairs. Never really had a terminology for it. I just never heard anyone refer to it as that. I get a kick out of it. I think it's funny. It's a good term for it.
You can thank Miss Layla Wilson for that one. She's the one that introduced me to that term when we were doing some endurance racing stuff early in my iRacing career.
Oh, it's a good one. It's one I won't forget. It's stuck with me now.
Fair enough. So, meanwhile, lap 68 currently underway. Joe Burchett, Dylan Vos, Tyler Cox, Landon Lacey, Mark Nadeau, your top 5, as still hanging strong with them. As Josh Banks, Mike Trevarthen, Jeff Schmidt, Austin Marion, and Skylar Allen rounding out your top 10. Top 11 all still within, well, not so much.
Oh, we still got 17 on the lead lap out of the 19 that started, so kudos to everybody. And the top 16 are all within 9 seconds of each other.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it's 15.
Looks like the 4 ate the outside wall. And then the 15 just got loose, and unfortunately, Carl Heiss has nowhere to go, and just catches Chapman in the door. So, very unfortunate turn of events. Would surprise me if we don't see the entire field come back down pit road this time. 12 laps into their stint. Now, granted, it's not quite the money stop. Because
that's why you might get one or two that might stay out for the bonus point, but everybody else should be coming.
Well, we're 54 laps to go here.
Hey, Tony, I think we need to give out a big Kahunas award to David Worrell for shooting that gap in between both wrecked cars to avoid being involved in that wreck.
I thought I saw somebody try to Days of Thunder that mess. Let's
looking at that cockpit view, that would not have been something I would have tried.
Well, here we are still. This is the replay of what we're talking about here. See Worrell there in the 45. Caution just about to come out. We're following along here.
And Parks is going to bring it to pit road, so he's coming to pit road.
Apparently I missed something here. Come on.
Well, Adam Chapman officially took it behind the wall, so he's out of the race.
Wow. Okay, I see what you're saying, Ron. You know what? Let's go in car and see what Worrell actually saw. That was a total Days of Thunder move there. So yes, Cojones Award going to David Worrell on that one.
Just like my dad likes to joke about when he watches races, he can open his eyes now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Burchett winning the battle off pit road. Dylan Vos coming out in second. Tyler Cox third. Mark Nadeau, Landon Lacey, Mike Trevarthen, Josh Banks, Jeff Schmidt, Austin Marion, and Skylar Allen rounding out your top 10. As lights go out on the pace car, field starting to form up 2 by 2.
He's 73 down of 124 when we go back to green flag.
Getting near that point of the race where everybody's going to start getting a little more aggressive than usual.
Oh yeah, we're getting in the final stages. There won't be no friends now. Everybody be take, no give. Get a lot of squeezing going on by them guys on the outside line, not allowing them guys to come up and get any kind of run coming out of one, especially.
I'm still surprised that as much traction as we've seen on that outside line, that Joe Burchett has elected to take the inside starting position on every restart so far. Dylan Vos able to hang with him. Here comes Tyler Cox on the inside of Vos.
Good restart. Here comes the 14.
Cox showing why he is the points leader. Oh, good grief.
No caution yet. Still no caution. We're still going. They got her. Both of them kept going, so no caution. Man, I thought for sure we were going to have a big crash on that, but wow.
They're everywhere in 3 and 4.
They're still trying to. They're still trying to wreck. There it goes.
There. Yep.
There's a caution.
Of course, the one car that just shows up last second.
So here we are. We're following along with Mark Nadeau in the 40s. The 35 of Landon Lacey to his inside. And just comes up the track, coming through the dog leg. Nadeau sideways onto the apron, still trying to save it, still fighting it. finally gets it collected on the front straightaway and just door bangs the 87 of Rick Mitchell Jr. So, good grief. That was definitely a wild turn of events.
Hey Scott, I remember talking about this earlier in the race, running out of real estate. Look at Stephen Parks, spoken stuff. He went down to the inside wall for 3 and 4.
Like, kind of had to. He wasn't given much choice. As we're following along with Landon Lacey now, and you can see the right side of that car just completely pancaked. So rough break for your outside pole sitter at the start of this thing. And
would you like to bring someone down and do another interview?
Surprise me.
All right.
So Burchett stayed out. Tyler Cox stayed out. Trevarthen stayed out. Schmidt, Marion, Allen, Mitchell, and Steve Parks all stayed out. Dylan Vos winning the battle off pit road. Dylan, you guys didn't have a lot of laps on that last tire stint. Just aiming to just keep as fresh a rubber on the car as you can get.
Oh yeah, for sure. Plus I had a little bit of damage there, so I thought, may as well just get in and get it all fixed, because it's about to get fun here in a minute.
Absolutely, but I got to give you kudos. It was definitely a total metal move when you almost used the apron going into 3 to try to get by Burchett earlier.
That was kind of the point. I wanted to show him that, hey, I'm not just going to lay over for you. This is going to be a battle to the end of the race. And if I can get back up there, you can expect the same thing to every one of those guys. So should be fun to watch.
Fair enough, sir. Best of luck to you, and hopefully we're talking to you in about 40 laps here.
10-4 on that. Thank you.
Dylan, which room were you in?
Metalhead.
Metalhead.
Okay.
So Dylan Vos repping Team Metalhead tonight. Jeff Schmidt, another Metalhead, currently sitting outside row number 2. And if I'm not mistaken, Mike Trevarthen is another one on that team. Yeah, so 2 of the top 4 Team Metalhead. So definitely keep an eye on those guys tonight. Austin Marion having a rough one as well. Currently sitting in 5th, though. So 3 of the top 5 and all 4 in the top 10. So team points going to be huge for that team right now. And Burchett taking the outside line this time.
Switching it up.
Looks like he's going to try to use all that grip of all the rubber that's already been laid down. And he drops the hammer, wasting no time. And here comes Schmidt to the high side.
Yeah, he's going to fade way up near the wall. He's going to lose at least one spot because of it.
It looks like he's going to lose a couple of them.
Yeah.
Skylar Allen got a great run through the 1-2 complex.
Yeah, he's gotten stronger as this race is going on, the 96 has.
Oh, we got one car on the wall back in
Gosh. They're starting to breed.
That would be the 43 of John Marion pointing the wrong way on a one-way street. And that could have a little bit to do with it. They went 3 wide in front of him. And... oh! Wow! That's the first one we've had tonight, folks. That's a... thank God this is a simulator moment, as that car just came to an abrupt halt coming through the 3-4 complex. Had a lot of help from Rick Mitchell Jr. In the 87, just pinched him right down.
What number caution is that? 6, 7?
That would be caution number 7. Currently 26 laps under caution.
Not too bad. Short track racing.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. We're almost we'll be taking the green with roughly 40 laps to go. Now, we know that they can do north of 30. We know that they can almost do 40. And I'm not going to ask Ronnie this question because I know what his answer is going to be after what we saw on Wednesday night. But do you gamble and fill it up here and then hope you can hang on for the remainder of the race if it should stay green?
It just depends on what kind of mileage you're getting, really. I mean, can they go 40 laps on fuel?
We saw it earlier.
I was going to say, I would think they can. I would think they'd be able to go a lot further than that. So I'm thinking they can go to the finish from here.
On
Anybody that
fuel.
goes up from here, yeah, on fuel.
Yeah. On tires, they may only make lap 20. On aggression, they may only make lap 5.
Yeah.
You're
It's
not
going to be who takes care of the tire, and from what we've been seeing, nobody's taking care of the tire. So I don't see anybody taking care of them now. I mean, everybody's going to try to get everything they can get. And they know that the cautions are really starting to pile up now. So we've had a lot of them here recently. So you know how that works. Cautions breed cautions, and guys, that plays into strategy when that starts to happen.
Unfortunately, yes. So while we are under caution, would like to remind everybody you are watching a presentation of the BOFA Broadcasting Company. This is the Go Fast Racing Series Grand National Series. If you go ahead and like, subscribe, and share if you like what you're seeing here tonight. If you want to get in on the action that you're seeing here tonight, go ahead and wait till after the live stream is over. Load up the replay of this race and go into the comment section of the replay with your iRacing screen name. We will get that passed along to league management and see if we can't get you added into a future event here in the Go Fast Racing Series.
Them lights are out, so time to go racing again. We're going to try this one more time.
We will be going green on 40 to go.
I think you'll see some guys definitely try to stretch to the end if we stay green. Some guys are going to have their hands full. It's going to be like being at the theme park.
That's one way to put it.
Ups and downs, peaks and valleys, smiles and cries.
Again, you're not wrong. So, Burchett going to have control of the field as
Green, green, green.
he immediately, as soon as he can see the straightaway, he's going to pull the trigger. Cox and Schmidt almost making contact going through 1 and 2. Schmidt trying to pinch him down.
Contact.
Well, Schmidt was trying to pinch him down. Cox was having none of it.
You're going to see a lot of that in these closing laps. Even a little more right there. Look at that. Getting racy.
Getting racy, and Schmidt's got to deal with his own teammate now with Michael Trevarthen right behind him.
Getting racy in the mid-pack, too. Boy, they're stacking up back here mid-pack.
That's Bose using as much of the dog leg as he dares with a power move up into, looks like 5th now.
It looks like he grabbed 2 spots from that move.
At least.
Early on in these runs, you can do that, but that's what I'm talking about. The guy's not saving the tire.
Well, Bose has some of the freshest tires out there right now. And all the guys around him are at least 10 laps in.
Some of these guys are banking on the caution coming back out there trying to take advantage of that. having fresher tires than everybody else, trying to make up as much ground as they can, hoping that caution comes back out again. They just don't have to worry about their tires.
Well, I think it's kind of dangerous for the rest of the field right now because you've got, sitting in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you've got 3 members of Team Metalhead with Schmidt, Trevarthen, and Vos all relatively nose to tail getting ready to work with each other. Meanwhile, up front, Tyler Cox all over the back bumper of Joe Burchett.
Yeah, he is. First time tonight we've seen anyone challenge the 41. The numbers are reversed, putting the pressure on.
Now, Cox is showing right now why he is the points leader. Burchett
wants to get by.
Well, at the beginning of the night, Burchett seemed just about unstoppable. And looks like Tyler Cox has been learning as he went tonight, learning how to keep the car underneath him. And good grief, has he got a run going right now.
Let him know he's definitely there. Question will just come down to how long will the tires hold on and how long will the 14 be able to continue to put the pressure on like this, either before it falls off or before he gets by.
You're not wrong, as right now we're watching Stephen Park work on Trevarthen right now. Relatively evenly matched. Parks was just sideways.
Carl Hayes took it behind the wall, so he's officially out of this race.
So that's going to leave 2 retirements of the 19 who started.
But Tyler got a little piece of the wall on the front stretch, and he's going to lose a little ground, but not that much. He's getting right back up.
These guys are already 2.5 seconds to the good over 3rd place, Dylan Vos right now, who is he's cleared both of his teammates, and he's now set sail on the 41 and the 14. So still plenty of time left, and again, we have not seen the money stop.
Well, some of these guys may be sandbagging just to save the tires, plan on going to the end. So that may be why you've seen the top 3 break out there and get away so quickly, because some of these guys are just hanging back. You never know. It could go green the rest of the way. I mean, I know it's the odds say it's not going to, but it always could.
Well, I got to admit, Gateway surprised me the other night.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. I mean, I've called enough races on here where you know the first half of the race will be a complete cluster, and then the second half, the whole thing goes green. Just rhythm. Everybody gets their rhythm. You never know; it just click at any time.
Well, right now, Park and Littleton slugging it out for that's your battle for 6th going on. It's Littleton in the 80 and Parks in the 1.
And we are side by side for the lead. Cox on the inside of Joe. And he's going to stick it down the yellow line.
Yeah, he did. He got him, too. He made it work.
Slide job off of 4, and we've got a new leader.
And he gone.
Tyler Cox showing why he is leading the points right now. Joe Burchett settling down into 2nd, as Dylan Vos is still reeling these guys in. They were almost 3 seconds to the good, and Vos has cut it down to just over 2.
Well, these 2 guys are really pushing each other, because this entire race, you could tell Joe would not make any mistakes, and a couple laps ago before Tyler passed him, you could hear him getting loose and getting the tires loose on 3 and 4. So these 2 guys are pushing each other. Vos is just keeping it calm, and he can run these guys down easy.
Well, he also has 10-lap newer tires than these guys as well.
Makes a big difference.
That too.
Joe's not letting him get away, though. He's hanging right there. Both of them loose out of the corner there. But here comes Joe, making the move right back, coming into 1. And he's got a good move on him. Oh, look at this. The run the 14 guy. Wow.
These 2 are off this corner, coming off those corners.
You would think it's the last lap already with how hard these two guys are running for the lead of this race.
And 19's digging this because these guys are just slowing down, and he's back there picking up ground.
Well, we're still 25 laps to go, and these guys are treating it like it's the white flag already.
That tells me that they're expecting a caution on the way they're driving right now. They're definitely expecting to pit one more time, but I still think there's going to be a couple guys out there that try to make it to the end.
I'm thinking it depends on when and where the cautions fall that are going to decide that. Because,
if we go caution free, I think there's going to be guys that try to stay out, make it all the way.
And Tyler Cox was almost completely sideways coming off of turn 4. He had a definite Tokyo drift going on there. Is still trying to keep it wound up. Burchett with a run on the inside as they work their way through the dog leg.
Joe just isn't going to let Tyler have this easy.
Nope.
And vice versa, too. Tyler's not going to let Joe have it easy either. And Vos is clicked off another half second off their lead. Now it's down to 1.5 from 2.0. This is... wow. I don't know what else to say other than this is definitely a driving clinic that these guys are putting on.
Yeah, it's quite the battle. It's the only one actually going on the track. Everybody else is pretty much single file, so those guys putting on a show up there.
Is it too early to make a bold prediction that the bumper's going to be used in the last lap?
I was thinking that about 10 laps ago.
Well, if you've seen the previous races, that's the safe bet.
Is that a trend around here?
Things happen.
They always do. It's life.
That's kind of how Tyler Cox doesn't have 2 wins already this season, because he was on his way to win Daytona. Ended up finishing 3rd, coming across the line backwards after getting spun coming off of turn 4.
Know the feeling. Just got to pick it up and come back the following week.
True story. As Dylan Vos now down to 1.1 seconds behind these guys. Make that 1.0. He is definitely gapping. You can see him appear in shot every once in a while.
I definitely don't think the 41 is going to let the 14 get away, but the only problem is his rear view mirror is getting bigger.
It is doing that. Now, mind you, the 14 and the 41 are 34 laps into their current tire stint. Vos is only 23 into his. Could they make it on fuel from here?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah. 20 laps to go. You're only talking about 55 laps worth of racing. On an 85% tank, I dare say they should be able to make it from here. Fuel-wise, are they going to be able to hang on tire-wise? That's the question.
And another thing to focus on for Vos, because he is most likely going to catch these... never mind. He's sideways and gone.
And around he goes.
No caution. Oh, there is the caution. Wow. I didn't think they'd throw it because he was so low down there, but they did.
Damn.
Yeah, that'll wrap it up for him.
Well, let's go to the replay and let's go to the replay and see what did happen with Vos here, as he tried to cut that dog leg too much and got into the dirty part of it, and it just unsettled the car too much. Luckily, it doesn't look like he hit anything. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you what I lovingly refer to as money stop time.
Could be. Hopefully this caution here doesn't breed 3 more. You know how short track racing can be when you line them up with less than 20 to go.
You're not wrong.
You were just talking about the bumper. It would be used, and it's likely to be used.
So Austin Marion staying out this time. Gonna get the bonus point there for leading the lap.
Yep, running out of chances to do that, so you might as well do it when you can.
Absolutely. So Cox into his stall. Burchett into his stall finally. Lacey into his. Cox is moving and underway. And Burchett edges him out. Oh, man. Trevarthen picking up a spot there. So... $14.4 to a 15.3. So I'm thinking Tyler Cox may have missed his marks just a tick, or he may have waited for the team to do a little bit of damage repairs. The right front fender on that car looks like it may have been pulled out a little bit more than it had been.
The funny thing was all these laps closing. Tony should know this from the last time I was at Phoenix racing the Xfinity car in another league. Remember how crazy that came off turn 4 was? There were cars everywhere.
Is that the one where there was cars upside down, backwards, and everything except on fire? Oh, yeah. I know the. Yeah. That's the only thing that iRacing hasn't been able to figure out yet is how to set a car ablaze.
Fire.
Fire. Anyways,
the first thing I thought of when you said that word.
Yeah, no, you can go watch. You can go watch the replay of that one at your leisure on the BOFA Broadcasting channel, the other BBC, by the way. And you'll understand what Ronnie was talking about with the finish of that race during that series playoff session that took place here at Phoenix. I believe Ray Black Jr. won that race. Yeah. Yeah, because he stole 2 of them that round.
Oh yeah, he was the only one to survive. Everybody else behind him died.
Right. So, Joe Burchett winning the battle off pit road. Tyler Cox coming out in second. Michael Trevarthen, Brian Littleton, Jeff Schmidt, Mark Nadeau, Skylar Allen, Landon Lacey, Damon Cox, and Joshua Banks rounding out your top 10. As we are 15 to go right now.
Who's going to win it?
And wasting no time drop of the hammer, Joe Burchett off to the races, pun intended. As Littleton and Trevarthen go side by side for third. Here comes Trevarthen's teammate Jeff Schmidt hanging out for 5th currently. You know he wants more, as he's got to deal with Nadeau all over his back bumper right now. And these guys are on it. Josh Banks in the 36 was all sorts of sideways. I'm sorry, that was Landon Lacey in the 35 who was all sorts of sideways coming through the corner there. And here comes Dylan Vos.
Yeah, look who's coming back. Trying to make up as many positions as he can after that mistake he just made. Brought out that last caution.
It's the most dangerous time to be in front of a driver like him. The angriest point of a driver's life, where you can feel the wind in your grasp and you have something go wrong. The dangerous.
What'd you call it the other night, Tony? Pissed off mode?
Yes.
Yep.
You flip the pissed off switch.
It's a real thing.
We've all been there where you're going along, happy-go-lucky, something horribly wrong happens, you step on your own junk, and the next thing you know, all you see is red, and there's nothing will make you not see red except for finishing what you started earlier.
It's amazing how the focus goes up, huh?
Oh yeah,
especially when it's for battling for the lead. It's not just stepping on the junk. It's getting stepped on, kicked, slapped, shot, everything.
No. It's when you step on your own junk.
Which is bound to happen from time to time on iRace.
Ronnie, you're still young, but it's generally referred to as stepping on one's own wang.
Yep.
I know. I'm just adding stepped on, shot, and all of the above to your own junk.
Now, why would you shoot your own junk?
That would be painful.
I don't know. Why do millennials eat Tide Pods? I don't know.
Life altering.
Hey, that's your generation, kid.
Regretful.
I know.
Back in our day, all we had was whippets. And that's all I'm gonna say on that.
I ain't even touching that.
All right, back to racing.
Burchett and Cox a second and a half to the good right now. These guys are just throwing bombs at each other, and 9 to go. Make that 8 to go. Trevarthen digging right now, hanging on for a second. Far enough back that should all hell break loose in front of him, he does have time to react.
I'd say he's probably in the safest spot right now.
Well, how about this battle up front for the win, huh? 14 and 41 back at it again. 14 putting the pressure on. We're under 10 to go. 7 laps to go, actually, in this race. The pressure is on. Can Joe hold on?
Can Joe hold on for a second win of the season? Or can Tyler get his second win of the season?
An eventful night for Joe.
Absolutely. From the front to the back. How's that phrase go? From the penthouse to the outhouse, back to the penthouse.
Yep, and then when he got back to the penthouse, he was being challenged for his seat.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, you weren't here. No, you're in my chair. We're coming to 5 to go. Can the 41 hold on? He's got a rear view full of the 14. The 14 is in a hurry to get by. Taking a little peek right now, but not making a move yet. Trying to set him up. Gonna have to set him up.
Gonna have to set him up, and I'm thinking he's just right now trying to pick his spot. He's watching Joe, see where and or if Joe makes a mistake. And
no.
I believe that's going to do it.
Yeah, 41 will get it.
I believe that's going to do it. And what brought the caution out? The 19.
Oh, wow.
The 19 got the 36 completely sideways, and the 36 is out of here.
Yeah, tough ending there for the 19. He had a good run, but he's still going to get a good finish, but definitely just the finish wasn't how he'd like it to be.
And you're not wrong. I'm wondering what happened there. The 35 is gone as well.
Well, Ronnie, before we get done here, we got a minute, man. When's the next ARCA gig?
We're hopefully shooting for Talladega.
Yeah, in April?
Yeah, April 28th.
Nice. You have to keep us all posted on that. I watched you in your debut there at Daytona. I made a point to be home to watch the race. That was a tough break.
I would like to point out that the only time I actually have had my cable box on since I moved into my new apartment was for the ARCA race that you were in.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've had the cable box turned on.
I made sure to watch that one.
Yeah, it was a real fun experience to run Daytona. It's heartbreaking how it ended.
Yeah, but you got that all-important experience.
Bingo.
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe chomping at the bit to get back out there, I'm sure.
With as close as Joe and Tyler are to the pace car right now, I'm thinking we might have a one-lap shootout.
We're 2 to go now, and the lights are still on, so I'm pretty sure it's
not
over.
going to happen.
Yeah. If it was 125 laps, you're right. We would have got one.
Yep. Well, let's see what's going on here. We'll wait until it becomes official. But from the looks,
come around.
From the looks of it, Joe Burchett, probably not the way he wanted to do it, but it all looks the same on paper.
That it does. A win's a win.
I believe that's going to still give Tyler Cox the points lead coming out of here. Mike Trevarthen with a hell of a points night, represent Team Metalhead to the fullest. Jeff Schmidt, again, another Team Metalhead. So 2 cars for Metalhead in the top 5. Mark Nadeau able to hang on for 5th. So at least that's how it's looking right now.
Note to any iRacing developers watching, give us green, white, checkers.
Yeah, come on, Nim.
Overtime.
You're killing me, Nim. You're killing me.
Already. Is Tyler? Is that TCAX up there? Here in TeamSpeak?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say it's gotta be him.
Yeah, for Overtake Motorsports, that's that would be the 14. Trevarthen is in Metalhead, and Burchett is.
Yeah, I got them all down in the waiting room there. They're all ready to rock.
Okay, great. So,
I just couldn't see Tyler anywhere. I figured that was who it was with a TCAX.
Yeah. So that is going to do it. Let's go to talk to our favorite metalhead tonight, Mr. Mike Trevarthen, as Joe Burchett able to hang on to it. A little bit of bump in with Tyler Cox there.
Gamesmanship
to its fullest there.
User was moved to your channel.
Mike Trevarthen able to hang on for 3rd. I know it's not what you were hoping to see, but looks like you were just about far enough back that should all hell have broken loose in front of you, you're in a perfect position to try to avoid any carnage, Mike.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a rough night. Like I said, I'm happy with the 3rd there. 14 and 41 definitely class of the field. 19 had a strong car, but like I said, great run.
So being in the same team speak as him, is it safe to assume that words that would have made a sailor blush probably came out of his mouth when that happened?
Yeah, I mean, that's just typical flat track racing. I mean, he was doing everything he could. He had a little bit fresher tires than they did to catch up to him, and he was doing a pretty good job there. Just got loose. I mean, that's typical Phoenix.
Well, from the looks of it, he caught the transition at the wrong angle and just unsettled the car just a little too much just before that happened.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, the 14, 41, and 19 definitely class of the field tonight. Like I said, I'm happy to come out here with a 3rd.
Well, congratulations on the podium. So on to Auto Club Speedway next week. Talk us through your thoughts on going to the big 2-miler.
Yeah, like I said, I like the bigger track, so hopefully we have a strong run there.
Fair enough. Real strong run for all the Team Metalheads tonight. You guys had 2 drivers in the looks like 2 drivers in the top 5, and I believe all 4 of you are in the top 10.
Yeah, I definitely want to give a big shout out to Metalhead Motorsports for having a great night. You know, Jeff Schmidt, Austin Marion, Dylan Vos. Like to give a shout out to Eric Minch. Couldn't be with us tonight. Had surgery, still in the hospital. So our prayers and thoughts are with him and his family. Todd Cray, the same. recovering from a surgery. So our thoughts go out to a couple of our teammates there. So definitely like to give a thanks to Go Fast Racing Lead, both for broadcasting everything you guys do for us and the time investment you guys have in the league itself. So yeah, great job for Metalhead.
All right. Best of luck to you next week at Auto Club, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys next Friday.
Thank you, sir.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
All right. So joining us now, Mr. Tyler Cox. Tyler, that was probably not what you were hoping to see coming into the final handful of laps.
Not really, but it's all right. I mean, I'm super happy. Second place is great. Can keep the points. Good for points, and just the only thing I could have asked more is to win, but that's all right. Cappy Joe won. Overtake is good, so.
Fair enough. So on to Auto Club next week. What's your thoughts going into the big two miler?
I don't mind Auto Club. It's been a good track for me, at least NIS fixed wise. I have a couple NIS fixed wins there, and just super excited. I like pretty much any track. It was pretty loose out here tonight, so.
Well, it was pretty hot out there tonight. 108-degree track temperature when you guys started the event, and I'm sure that the blood boiling from most of the drivers that got beaten, banged around most of the night, didn't help cool the track down any.
No, absolutely not. It was pretty hot and slick.
Fair enough. But, we did notice that you were probably I dare say, one of two drivers all night that were able to keep Joe honest. Talk us through the move when you took over the lead there with the power move going into 3.
Yeah, we were in the same chat, so I told him I was going on the inside, and me and Joe, we always race each other really cleanly, and he knew I was faster at that point, so he just kind of let me go, but it was super fun racing with him.
Fair enough. Congratulations on the podium. Congratulations on. It looks like you're going to maintain the points lead coming out of the event, but looking forward to seeing what you can do next week at Auto Club.
Absolutely, this big dog concrete Toyota Camry should be hopefully up front. Yeah.
Fair enough. But we'll see you next week, and best of luck to you.
Alrighty, thanks guys.
User was moved to your channel.
And the man of the hour, Mr. Joe Burchett, class of the field
User
tonight.
was moved out of your channel.
Joe, you had some ups and downs tonight. You went from the penthouse to the outhouse, back to the penthouse, only to find out there were 3 guys eyeing your seat when you got there.
Yeah. I think the car worked well all night. This place suited me. I think Tyler and possibly Dylan were the only two, I think, tonight that could even keep up with me. Unfortunately, my other teammate, Landon, who I think was pretty much on the same par as me and Tyler, got caught up in a wreck, and as well as Adam, our other teammate. So, but I'll definitely take a overtake 1-2. Getting the win 1-2 here, and my teammate Tyler, we always race good together. I hate to actually win it that way under caution. I'd have rather me and him battle it out all the way to the end.
Well, I know you didn't want it to end that way, but it all looks the same on paper when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, now I think as long as we make the rest of the races in the regular season, we're locked into the chase, so I don't have to worry about getting into the chase anymore. Now we can just focus on going for wins, so that's going to be the plan for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. You've been one of those guys the past couple of weeks that if it wasn't for bad luck, you wouldn't have had any luck at all. You're finally able to get that breakout win here in the desert. Moving on, next week we're going to, I believe, Auto Club. Talk us through your thoughts about California.
Auto Club's a fun track. Depending on how the weather shakes out there, it can be wide open and almost like a super speedway for 5, 6, 7 laps, or it could be, a mile and a half at Charlotte in really hot temps or something where you're braking almost. So I think it mainly just depends on how the weather and the session gets set up. I prefer a little bit hotter track, so it makes you really have to drive it. And I like the big 2 miles. I like it in Michigan, so I'm hoping I should have a good race next week.
All right. But, like you said, you guys had a 1-2 finish here. Great points night for both you and Tyler. I believe that's going to move you up I believe that's going to move you up into the top 5 in points right now. Again, locking you into the postseason. So a little bit of pressure off. Do you feel like the monkey's off your back finally?
Yeah, in the Xfinity Series, I feel that it's gone. At the win in the Truck Series last week at Atlanta, got the win tonight in Xfinity, and hopefully we can check the box off for Cup tomorrow night and get a win in all 3 series to start the year and basically run for wins the rest of the season until we get to the chase in all 3.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations again, Joe. Looking forward to seeing how that all shakes out for you at Auto Club. Best of luck to you tomorrow night in the Cup Series, and it's been great watching you guys work over the past handful of races.
Yeah. It's Skylar puts on a heck of a league. All these guys are in here are fast. Any given night, any of these guys can be up front, and just luckily, tonight was my night, and was able to bring home the checkered flag.
Well, like I said, congratulations. It was great seeing you guys work.
User joined your channel.
It was an awesome event. I can't thank Skylar enough for letting us come in and bring this event to the masses. Skylar, again, thank you. With you and the Go Fast League have definitely helped renew my interest in full fender stock cars.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So, being as you are the head knucklehead in charge, California next week at Auto Club Speedway, what can we expect out of the Go Fast Grand National Series?
Well, I think that it's a bigger track, so I think the racing will be a little bit more spread out. It'll be a lot less. I haven't tested the setup, so I can't say, but I'm hoping it'll be a lot less slippery off of turn 4, and we can kind of keep the caution count down and more cars running at the end.
Fair enough. Again, thank you guys for an awesome event. I know nobody really wanted to see that last caution come out, especially Joe, because I know you wanted to win it under green, but still, awesome job for all the drivers involved tonight. Skylar, if I'm not mistaken, you snuck in the top 10 there. Yes, you did, sir.
I did.
Coming home 8th, so that was an impressive drive for you, sir.
Yeah, I've had a rough start to the year, so anything good that could happen tonight was good. So definitely happy with the top 10.
All right. So Scott, what do you say we run down the finishing order here?
User left your channel.
Let's do it.
So Joe Burchett, of course, coming home with the victory over his teammate Tyler Cox. Tyler should come out of here with the continuing with the points lead. Michael Trevarthen able to hang on for third. Awesome drive for him, followed by his teammate Jeff Schmidt. Mark Nadeau able to hang on for fourth. Dylan Vos, who had a hell of a run going, able to rebound for sixth. Brian Littleton coming home in seventh. Skylar Allen in
User disconnected from your channel.
8th, Dylan Cox in 9th, and Stephen Parks able to hang on to round out the top 10.
Austin Marion finishes 11th. John Morris, 12th. Rick Mitchell, 13th. Rick Mitchell Jr. finishes 4th. David Worrell, he was able to connect to the room. He was at one time, if I'm not mistaken, 8 laps down when he got in the race. He made up 6 laps, folks. So in his own little race, he did a hell of a job. Finished 2 laps down, 15th, but he's got to feel pretty good about that. Almost got back on the lead lap. Josh Banks finishes 16th. Landon Lacey finishes 17th. Carl Hayes 18th, and Adam Chapman rounds out this field of 19 here in the desert.
All right, so that is going to do it. And of course, I just did what I didn't want to do. So that is that's going to do it for us tonight. You have been watching a presentation of the Go Fast Racing League Grand National Series. We will be back next Friday from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. If you like the action that you saw here tonight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Wait till after the live stream is over. If you want to get in on the action at a later time, go ahead and drop a comment in the replay of this video, and we will get that passed along to Skylar and the crew and try to get you added into the on-track action at some point. So, gentlemen, I thank you for joining me in the booth. Ronnie, I believe this is your first broadcast ever, as far as just being in the booth, right?
Yeah, being in the booth, yeah, first one.
All right, so now you know how coming in around this time. I was gonna say, now you know how Jeff Gordon feels. So for Mr. Scott Brinson, for Ronnie Osmer, this is Tony Strassel saying we will see you next time, next Friday anyways, here from Auto Club Speedway.